So while I'm here testing this new camera, I believe everyone should practice and become as much of an expert at their trade as they can. So I figured I'd take this moment to talk about how my wife and I really met. So those of you that know us knows that there's this dispute on how we really met. My version of it is the gospel. Let's just end it there. So, how we met. In the 1980s, my wife and I both run track in high school, and I was a senior, she was a sophomore. So at the state meet in Shippensburg, PA, the campus was just high school track teams. They took it over for the state meet, so we had full use of the cafeteria and everything. So her and her teammates are sitting at a table, and I come in with my teammates. We just got done running, and so we didn't get a chance to shower. And we had on boots for some reason. It was like an intimidation factor. Like you got these guys coming in wearing Timberland boots and sweat, to intimidate the competition that may have been in there. So I see Steffanie and I go over, try to make small talk with the table, introduce myself to her. And she just says to her friends, he stinks, he smells. It's like, dang, okay. Shot down, shoot your shot, didn't work. But I knew immediately after that, she regretted that. That was her biggest regret in life, is doing that. So, long story, I eventually ended up at Georgetown. And, my wife, with her regret, was keeping up with, different teams and found out I went to Georgetown. So of course, she wants to come to Georgetown. And she's coming on a recruit trip, and they're bringing her around campus, showing her the campus, and so they bring her into the track office. So while she's in the track office, I happen to come in, and that day, I happened to be lifting weights, coming to the track office, no shirt, sweaty. I was cut, like I was known to be occasionally. And she's just looking at me. And this is the line that sealed the deal. I'm telling you, right here, right now, this is what sealed the deal. I walked up to her and said, "What's up?" Blam, that's it. That's it, that's what happened. And she was awestruck. You know what I mean? So from there, she comes, so of course she commits to Georgetown, right? So she comes to campus and, Mike Jasper this, Mike Jasper that, you know how it goes. So one of our college buddies, who was on the team at the time, sets up a movie night with a bunch of people at her roommate's dorm room. So, I show up after everything had already started. It wasn't a date, so I wasn't late for a date, as some people like to say. And I'm coming into her dorm in Harbin Hall, going into the elevator, and the elevator opens. She's standing there and she sees me. And, she gets all flustered, ooh, Mike Jasper. And so she wanted to get some ice cream, so I walked up to get ice cream, and then we start talking, and that's it. You know what I mean? We've been married we've been together for 33 years, I think married for 27, 28 years, and that's the truth. So if you hear anything different, you heard it here from me. That's the real story, okay? Don't listen to my wife talking about, I was in the office because Gags was gonna chew me out about class, or she never said that, and, I was stalking her because I was an upper class. Don't believe none of that. This is the real story of how Steffanie and I met at Georgetown. Thank you.
So if you're here, you probably have seen my husband's version of our love story and where we met originally. I am here to tell you the real story because some of the parts of what he told you, not 100% true. A lot of it is factual, but there are some parts that we disagree on. So let's start at the beginning. So in the late 1980s, we were both track athletes, both went to the state track meet in Shippensburg. I do remember his team being in Shippensburg at the same time that my team was there. I, however, do not remember meeting him in the cafeteria, nor do I remember insulting him and telling him that he stinks. Although, I will say, if they were coming straight from practice to the cafeteria wearing Timberlands in May in 80-degree weather, they probably did smell. However, I don't recall meeting him. I don't recall having that conversation. What I do remember is my trip back to Erie on the bus with my teammates. One of my teammates could not stop talking about Mike Jasper. Oh, Mike Jasper, Mike Jasper. Did you see him run? He ran the 800. He's so cute. Mike Jasper, Mike Jasper. Now, mind you, the trip from Shippensburg to Erie is probably about 6 hours. And for at least 4 of those hours, she was talking about Mike Jasper. I finally had to tell her, look, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't remember him. I don't remember seeing him. Please stop talking about Mike Jasper. So, fast forward to my recruiting trip to Georgetown. I believe he said that he had been lifting, came down to the track office, shirt off, muscles popping, skin glistening. Yeah, that's not true. What is true is Coach Helmer brought me to the track office. Mike was sitting there. Coach Helmer asked him, hey, do you remember this young lady? Mike said, oh yeah, I remember her. He gave me a wink. He remembered me. That is the true story. Now, the reason why he was in the track office, one can only imagine. However, I believe, based on precedent, based on other athletes who had the same experience being in the track office and being summoned to the track office by Coach Gaggs, knows it wasn't for anything good. So he was probably down there to get chewed out by Coach Gaggs. I wasn't there to see that part, but I bet that's what it was. So now, fast forward again, 1989, my freshman year, October, I'm in the dorm. I had talked to one of our track athletes, our teammates, who had said to me earlier in that day that there was going to be a movie night in one of our teammates' dorm room, and that Mike was going to come and he was coming for me, and that we would then go and see the movie together. True story. That athlete was Chris Brown. So here I am. I'm sitting in my room. I'm waiting because I know the movie has already started because my roommate had already gone up. I knew what time it was supposed to start. Sitting in my room, waiting, watching TV, trying to be nonchalant, trying to act like, I'm not really waiting, but I was waiting. A couple hours go by. At this point, I'm like, the movie's probably over. He's not coming. I might as well go get some ice cream. Drown my sorrows, right? Get my wallet, get on the elevator, head downstairs. The doors open in the lobby. Guess who's standing there? Mike. Now, I will admit, I was a bit flustered seeing him standing on the other side of the elevator doors, mainly because I was not expecting him to be standing there. So it was a very nice surprise for me to see him there. I will say I was pleasantly surprised and probably a little nervous and a little flustered. So he did walk me to go get ice cream. We talked the whole way. We did go to our teammates' dorm room. The movie hadn't yet ended. I have no idea what the movie was. I do remember kind of glancing at him all throughout the movie because I was nervous that he was going to be bored, that he wasn't really into it, and I was kind of checking him out too. The movie ends, we walk to his apartment, and it was like we had known each other forever. I mean, we had conversation, and I just remember thinking to myself, wow, I've never talked to somebody that I had just met, well, hadn't just met him, but someone that I didn't really know that well, but it just felt like we had known each other from, infanthood. We talked for hours. I also remember his other roommate being outside when we got to his apartment, and we sat and talked to him for a while. And I don't remember the context of the conversation, but his roommate said, "Oh, she's from Erie." And Mike's like, "Oh yeah, she's Pennsylvania. You got to protect her. I got to protect her. She's from Pennsylvania." And the roommate said, "And she's cute." And Mike said, "Yeah, she's cute." And on the inside, my heart just melted. I just felt like I'd won the lottery. And that's probably what did it for me. That's probably the moment that I knew this was the man for me. And from there, it was a wrap. I had him locked down, and he's been the love of my life ever since. So that was freshman year, October 1989. This is now February 2023, and we are still Valentine's. He's still the love of my life. His story might have some elements of it that were a bit fantasy, not quite true, but all in all, it is a love story. I do love him. He is my world. So that I will not dispute.